For On the Record, and we're meeting a new provincial leader tonight. The new MEC for Human Settlements, Urban Planning and Local Government in Gauteng wants answers. Lebogang Maile has written a letter to the Mayor of Ekhuruleni, Mzwandile Masina, following a report by Amabungane titled "The Toilet Tender That Stinks to High Heaven." That investigation revealing that Ekurhuleni spent nearly 2 billion rand, 2 billion on chemical toilets over 3 years. The tender was meant to provide toilets to informal settlements where people were using the bucket system still. But critics say the toilets were sourced from 16 small suppliers and landed up being a get-rich-quick scheme for some contractors that left the beneficiaries with broken and dirty toilets. This perhaps getting to the heart of many of the frustrations with service delivery in South Africa. We're now joined by the MEC, Lebogang Maile. Thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me, and good evening.
So, firstly, the toilets. What's your gut feel? Do you think this was just, not proper oversight, a bit of recklessness, or is this corruption and pointedly so?
I think the reason we wrote to the mayor is because we don't want to use gut feel. But this sounds serious, and hence we don't want to take it for granted. We would await the response of the municipality through the mayor so that we get a comprehensive response that says, was this tender advertised? What were the terms of reference? What is the objective of the project? Is then money wasted or put to good use? We will need to get all those answers on behalf of the community of Ekurhuleni. We would also be interested to see that the principles enshrined in the Public Finance Management Act are adhered to, principles of transparency, of fairness, of accountability, prudent financial management. So we will certainly get to the bottom of this.
Often there's claims around tenders, and the officials involved say, well, we did our best. We put out a tender, you can't prove anything. Will you go beyond what you're talking about and even verify? I mean, surely someone can go and look at the number of toilets. Are they worth 2 billion rand? What state are they in right now?
That's why we want a comprehensive response, and we will ask the right questions. We will leave no stone unturned. We are committed to clean governance. We want to do away with corruption, and we are not going to take this for granted. And that's why once we receive a response from the mayor, we will then announce what step to take. We might most likely institute a forensic investigation, because it's only through a forensic investigation by a competent person or company that can help us get to the bottom of this.
Do you have powers, say you're not satisfied, to fire a mayor? We don't often hear that. We hear of municipalities being in a mess, but the province not stepping in often.
I don't have those powers to fire a mayor, but
what can you do?
But we can put municipality under administration, take it over. We can lay charges, but we can also refer the matter to the council itself, and the council can pass a motion of no confidence. We can refer the matter to the political party concerned. So there is something that can be done. But before we jump into what can be done, at the risk of preempting the outcome of the investigations, let's give the mayor a chance and receive a response. What we can promise the public is that we will definitely act in the interest of the public in accordance with the law.
Yeah. You have a lot on your plate if you're in charge of municipalities. We'll talk about the Auditor General's report. They found that most of their finances are not in order. But this is huge. We'll talk about the sewage spillage, Alexander. This is huge. Where do you start overseeing many municipalities?
Yeah, I think the first thing is to firstly acknowledge that municipalities are a sphere of government on their own. They are independent, but there's what is called cooperative governance enshrined in the Constitution, but we are also obliged by legislation. There's Municipal Structures Act, which requires of us as a province to do certain things, including to intervene whenever there's problems. Yeah. There's the Municipal Finance Management Act, which guide municipalities. So the first thing is to enforce that spirit of cooperation between ourselves and the municipality. The second is to ensure that we work together to ensure that we build capacity, so that municipalities are able to discharge their responsibilities and they are able to deliver services to the people. And where there's weaknesses, we've got a responsibility to reinforce and help the municipality to be able to build that capacity. And where municipalities are not willing and are not doing what is expected of them, we will then have to use the instruments of the law. One of the instruments we have, it's what is called Section 106 in the Systems Act, that empowers us to conduct an investigation where we believe that there is corruption or there is wrongdoing. So we are committed to use all the instruments that have been made available by the law.
So you can't get involved in the day-to-day running of every municipality and oversight everything. But you're saying if a problem comes to your attention, you want to investigate? Yes, but at the same breath, we will not wait for problems to emerge. We are proactive, and that's why one of the instrument we have is what we call an intergovernmental forum. We also have what we call the Premiers Coordination Forum, where the Premier meets with all the mayors, and we also have a forum where MECs meet with members of mayoral committees so that they give us regular reports, and through those reports we are able to detect if there's a problem. So we don't have to wait until there's problems. There's a few municipalities, already we have met with most of the municipalities, received the reports on how they've been performing, what are their challenges, and see how we help them. And we will also be doing something that we have not been doing previously, which is to provide an annual report on the state of municipalities. So as this sixth ANC-led administration in Gauteng, one of the things we'll be doing, and we're committing to the community of Gauteng, is that on a yearly basis we will be able to provide a report on the state of municipalities, not just in terms of finances, in terms of service delivery, in terms of governance, and many other related issues. Is this a Gauteng thing, or will your other colleagues in the law requires that all MECs must do that. It also requires that the Minister Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma at the national level, she's also supposed to give a report to Parliament on the performance of municipalities. So she's working with us as provinces so that we are able to provide her with that information and she can be able to take it to Parliament. All right, let's look at the Auditor General's report. So you're saying you're going to do more reports, but he's been doing reports for years, and we've seen the outcomes deteriorating year after year after year, despite the warnings. In the most recent one, I think it was 3 quarters of the municipal leaders, fraud or corruption came to their attention. They did nothing about it. Yeah. They didn't follow up. What do you do with that sort of culture? Yeah, well, the first thing is that the Auditor General audits specific things like the finances, HR. Ours will go beyond that. It will also include corporate governance, it will include service delivery, and I can assure you that we will act. Already you will know that there's one municipality in Ekhuruleni that is under administration. We've put them under administration, Section 139, and we are working with them to fix the problems there. So we are already acting. You will know that there was a VBS scandal in 2 of our municipalities in the West Rand. We've got the reports now, and the reports are clear that action has to be taken against certain officials. We will definitely act against those officials. Well, tell me more about that, because we know about the mayor extensively reported on in KwaZulu-Natal, who was fingered in that VBS report, and we've seen people protesting to get her back, including ANC people saying we want that mayor back. Will you be willing to put up with political pressure? We are going to act without any fear or favor.
we are not going to be put under pressure to be lenient on corrupt individuals. If there has been an investigation, money has been spent, and there's a report that points to wrongdoing and that involves any person, irrespective of who they are. Fortunately, I sit in the Provincial Executive Committee of the ANC, and I can tell you without any fear of contradiction that the ANC in Gauteng will act decisively against any individual, any member of the ANC, because ANC has been image has been tarnished because of these individuals. ANC does not have a policy that promotes corruption, but people commit illegal activities and corruption, and at the end of the day, it's the ANC that suffers. So it is in our best interest as the ANC to act decisively and mercilessly.
Well, how much evidence do you need? Because one of the things that's being debated is the fact that ANC officials are being sent to Parliament even. There are claims against them, sometimes reports with findings against them, but they're not convicted in a court of law. And we know that takes years, sometimes decades.
Yeah.
So how much evidence will you need as MEC to act against rogue municipal officials?
Sufficient evidence, and I can tell you without any fear of contradiction that here in Gauteng we don't have such, not even in our municipalities.
So you mean you'll act on a report, any evidence that
definitely
points
we
to
will
wrongdoing?
act without flinching, without thinking twice. We have acted previously. We have for instance, acted against government officials here in Gauteng, and we have expelled them. The Premier, for instance, has expelled about 3 accounting officers in the last term. We have expelled senior government officials who are directors, chief directors. We have opened cases against some of them and all that. So our record against corruption in Gauteng speaks for itself. We have even went further to introduce an open tender system in Gauteng, one of its kind. There is no any government in the country that has got the kind of a robust tender system like the one we have. We even established a civil society body that oversees us and advises us on ethics and corruption. And we've got eminent members of society who sits in that body that oversees the provincial government. There is no government in the country, even in the world, that has appointed a civil society body to watch over it. We have done it because we are committed against about fighting
and your
corruption.
words themselves, you're making a very strong commitment to clean governance. Stay with us, MEC.
Okay.
If we're talking about municipalities in Gauteng, we still have to get to the issue of the sewage spill. Ekhuruleni came up, that municipality in financial disaster, really. And of course, Alexandra, the protest there, what's going to happen? We're with the Gauteng MEC for Human Settlements, Lebogang Maile. We take a short break though.